Hello everyone, it's Ray with Tarot Living. Thanks for joining today. So this is a weekly tarot card reading for June 21st to the 27th. So I have set up here some products or some part of the product that I got from Dame Darcy Tarot. So I went ahead and ordered it recently. I've been wanting it for a few weeks now. So this is the bag that it came with, and these happen to be 2 extra cards that I got in my deck. It was actually sealed in plastic, but I got an extra Ace of Cups and an extra Wheel of Fortune, and I thought, well, doesn't that seem like good luck? Anyway, you can just take a little look at those, because I'm actually going to shuffle the cards and pick our weekly cards. Those are not our weekly cards. I just wanted to show you that I happen to get some pretty nice little extra cards there in my Dame Darcy Tarot. And I am doing a full review on this shortly. Okay, so the cards for this week, I am going to go ahead and draw right now. So I always do shuffling, and we're going to ask for 2 cards that would be good information for us for this week. Okay. There's the first one. There's our second one. Okay, so this was our first one. We're going to take that away. And that's the second one. Okay, so there, I think they're straight enough now. The Empress and the Magician, I can't believe we got those 2 cards. So, of course, these are 2 Major Arcana cards. So it tells us, first of all, that something of importance is occurring this week, and that it's going to help us in some way in our spiritual development, our spiritual growth, and will have a deeper meaning potentially than if we pull Minor Arcana. Minor Arcana are usually related to things that are happening in our everyday world, our physical world, and the things around us and occurrences in everyday life. And when you pull the Major Arcana, it can often represent that some kind of growth cycle is happening, or that we need to learn something more deeply. Of note that these are also in the first, if you separate the Major Arcana into 3 sections, so the first section being cards 1 to 7, so from the Magician to the Chariot. They often say that is really about that conscious level of growth, where you're dealing with things like, mother, father, teacher in the Hierophant, tradition, that sort of thing. So more in line with learning about who we are and what's around us, and how we're going to move forward later, but we're really developing that groundwork, I would have to say. So in any event, they landed in that section of the Major Arcana. So for the Empress that was pulled first, the Empress card is a number 3, and it really relates to creativity and growth and nurturing and development. It can relate to something that is in the process of being developed, and you haven't really necessarily harvested it all yet, but you're at certainly a first level of completion, generally speaking, and there's something that you've been working on that you either are reaping some of the benefits or you will soon. It can definitely mean that there is some kind of enjoyment or kind of luxuries, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean all physical luxuries. It just means that there's some type of enjoyment in life, and that you're able to embrace the things that are around you and have some level of enjoyment. The Empress really speaks to that mother figure, and so if you have someone in your life who is helping nurture you at this time, that would be where the Empress comes in. Or I often see it where it's something that you need to nurture yourself, or you need to take a look at yourself in terms of what needs you have going forward, to make sure that you are caring for yourself in order to move forward with your own growth. The second card is the Magician that we pulled, and so the Magician is really all about Having all of the resources and tools available to one in order to actually be able to manifest things, but you haven't manifested them yet. But we see in the Empress, obviously, that there is some manifestation there. But we're seeing with the Magician that you have all of the tools available to you. And so it's almost like saying you hold a lot of creativity with the Empress. And so the Magician is saying, and we have all the tools. And so, hey, let's go forward. So this would be cards that I would suggest if you have something that you want to accomplish, particularly in the realm of creativity, projects, developing something, that I would say that this is a wonderful time to do so. The Magician also, he tends to be kind of that original person wanting to kind of step forward into new things, start something new. So again, if you've got anything that you've been thinking about doing, or if you hold the gifts of creativity in some way, then it's saying that really now is the time that you are able to move forward. Even if you're, are you questioning, I want to do something creative, but I question whether I have those gifts and tools to be able to manifest it. And it's saying, oh yes, you can definitely move forward at this particular time. And then the other thing I would say, I'm going to actually, for every 2 cards that we pull each week, I'm going to try and kind of run through some of the basic elements in life. So for example, if we have a question about, let's say, a relationship, and we pull these cards, so what might that mean? So in terms of a relationship, the Empress tends to be a card that, has some sensuality to it and is definitely open to relationship and relating. She's ruled by Venus and sits actually in the house of Taurus. And I would say that if these 2 cards come up, then it really says, something new could be beginning, or that you're able to step into something that is being presented to you. Or that if you are looking for that you have the capability to move forward in it. It kind of strikes me as being potentially a new relationship, or a relationship that you really want to develop further. So if we were talking about money in this particular case, these 2 cards are actually good for a lot of things, but if we're talking about money or finances, the Empress again rules the house of Taurus, which is all about your finances, but also about what you own, your possessions. And then the Magician is sitting there saying, we've got the capability to manifest and to bring things forth into the world. So again, really good in terms of financial question, if that came up in a reading. Work, again, very positive, and also that I would say if the Empress comes up, then you may actually have somebody who is potentially quite nurturing, or will nurture your creativity potentially within the work environment, or you have creative gifts that you're able to utilize and manifest and put into play within the workplace. What other kind of questions do people ask? We've kind of run through, so relationship, finances, work. Pardon me, I'm losing my voice tonight. Yeah, I think those are kind of the main things. So these 2 cards, I just think it's good to sort of run through, if you had a project, of course, this would be excellent for a project. So I think it's good to sort of run through those main elements. So if someone asked you a question, about one of those, how would you answer it? So anyway, these cards are extremely positive for the majority of questions that might be asked. So the combination of these is very powerful. The Empress in Taurus, they are great manifestors, and the Magician, being ruled by Gemini and also kind of a sub-ruler of Virgo, has great ability to manifest and bring down to the physical realm, sort of as above, so below. So great cards. What wonderful cards for this week, and I have thoroughly enjoyed taking a look at these today. So I hope you have a wonderful week coming up, and we will meet again, I'm sure, next week for another video. So have a wonderful week. God bless.